Embark on an epic maritime journey with red sails, a fully engineered 12-movement orchestral voyage honouring Vaughan Williams and Sir Malcolm Arnold, a barge dog and a warehouse. Discover the lost history of the British waterways told through a groundbreaking fusion of classic composition and modern storytelling.
Since '43 I've held the shore, a sentinel of brick and beams, with timber hoists that guard the quay above the swirling brackish streams. They call me Oyster Bay by name. The Roman shells have long decayed. I stand to watch the timber rise, the changing seasons of the trade. My paws are seasoned on the deck. I know the rhythm of the mud, the sting of salt upon my coat, the tidal pulling in the blood. We are a crew of 3 this morn, 1 man, a boy, a faithful hound, and we shall slip the Faversham Creek before the fickle moon goes round. Oh, catch the wind and dress the spars, the ochre canvas starts to strain. The red sails fly beneath the grey, across the estuary main. From London pools to coastal ports, the sturdy workhorses shall roam, until the ledger book is closed and heavy waters bring us home. I look down from my weatherboards to see the young hulls proudly gleam. The master shipwrights test the oak, the finest craft you've ever seen. They load the hops, they load the grain, the profits lining every hand, while I stand firm in buff and iron, the silent giant of the land. Oh, catch the wind and dress the spars, the ochre canvas starts to strain. The red sails fly beneath the grey, across the estuary From London pools to coastal ports, the sturdy workhorses shall roam, until the ledger book is closed and heavy waters bring us home. The tide is high, the lines are cast. The skipper takes the wooden wheel. I lift my muzzle to the breeze and feel the rolling of the keel. The quay begins to fade away. The open channel calls our name. The grand century has begun, an unforgotten sailing game. Oh, catch the wind and dress the spars. The ochre canvas starts to strain. The red sails fly beneath the grey, across the estuary main. From London pools to coastal ports, the sturdy workhorses shall roam, until the ledger book is closed and heavy waters bring us home. I watch them pass the standard quay, 2,000 strong against the gale. The busiest waters of the world shall know the majesty of sail. With every tide we ride the foam, with every blast we hold the line, a living legend on the swale, bound tightly to the wheel of time.
Down at Greenhithe, where the river runs wide, they laid out the keel at the turn of the tide. The master shipwrights were squaring the frame to build up a beauty without any name. They gathered the timber from Somerset lands and brought it to Faversham, worked by hard hands. The green oak was heavy, unseasoned and raw, just awaiting the bite of the two-handled saw. I sprinted the yard through the chips and the shavings, my tail giving chase to the river gull ravings. The scent of fresh resin was thick on the air, as iron bolts fastened the joints with great care. They measured her flaws and they shaped her deep chest, to build up a workhorse to challenge the West. With 70 feet of a stout English spine, she's built for the mud and the rough coastal brine. Then swing the iron adze and drive the oak home. She's green in the timber to conquer the foam. From plantation forest right down to the creek, they fashion the vessel that traders will seek. With pride in the craftsmanship, block after block, the Cambria rises to challenge the dock. 30 30-foot trees from the Somerset plantation were felled for this frame to rebuild the whole nation. I watched from the quay as they hauled them along, the shipwrights all joining a traditional song. They paint her with linseed, they paraffin the wood, to season her true as a trading vessel should. No cheap foreign labor, no hurried design, just centuries of skill in a beautiful line. Then swing the iron adze and drive the oak home. She's green in the timber to conquer the foam. From plantation forest right down to the creek, they fashion the vessel that traders will seek. With pride in the craftsmanship, block after block, the Cambria rises to challenge the dock. The hull is now planked and the deck boards are true. I jump on the gunwale to check out the view. She's broad in the beam and she's flat in the floor, to creep up the creeks where the shallow tides pour. The shipwrights are stepping back, wiping their brow. The birth of a legend is happening now. The green oak is set and the structure is grand, the finest young barge to be built in the land. Then swing the iron adze and drive the oak home. She's green in the timber to conquer the foam. From plantation forest right down to the creek, they fashion a vessel that traders will seek. With pride in the craftsmanship, block after block, the Cambria rises to challenge the dock. I feel the oak temper, the frame will endure through 60-odd years of the trading for sure. The pride of the river, the strength of the tree, from Greenhithe construction right out to the sea. We build her to last through the gale and the blast, with green English timber to tighten the mast. Inside the sail loft, high above the standard quay, the canvas lay in heavy bolts, a gift from land to sea. 6 years an apprentice just to learn the needle's art, to sew the ropes around the edge and give the barge her heart. But flax and canvas cannot fight the bitter channel gale without the secret recipe that dresses every sail. I track the master sail maker, I sniff the steaming pot, a pungent stench of fish and oil that cooks upon the plot. He stirs it with a broken oar, he keeps the recipe hidden tight. A guarded coastal mystery to make the canvas right. The horse manure and tallow grease are bubbling on the fire to coat the heavy synthetic thread and fulfill the crew's desire. Then boil the fish oil, melt the grease, and turn the mixture red. The same rich ochre powder that the Kentish brickfields bred. It binds the cloth, it seals the seams against the driving spray. the signature of sailing ships that leave the standard quay.
They spread the massive canvas flat across my wooden floor and run the heavy brushes from the gunwale to the door. It turns the white to bleeding red, a deep and earthy hue. The iron rust color of the trade that changes old to new. No computer made these lines, no modern factory scheme, just human hands and secret pots to realize the dream.
Then boil the fish oil, melt the grease, and turn the mixture red. The same rich ochre powder that the Kentish brickfields bred. It binds the cloth, it seals the seams against the driving spray. The signature of sailing ships that leave the standard quay. Watch the red sails hoisted high. They block the setting sun. The grease is thick, the scent is wild, the dressing work is done. It doesn't rot, it doesn't stiffen when the winter waters freeze. It stands a proud and stubborn flag against the coastal breeze. My master takes his workspace post. The ropes are taut and tight. The red sails catch the estuary wind and guide us through the night. Then boil the fish oil, melt the grease, and turn the mixture red. The same rich ochre powder that the Kentish brickfields bred. It binds the cloth, it seals the seams against the driving spray. The signature of sailing ships that leave the standard quay. I let the yachtsmen boast their white and all their modern flair. The Thames barge wears the working red into the open air. The grease, the fish, the ochre dust shall keep the timber dry. 100 years of heritage beneath a cloudy sky.
Was a fellow of grit who looked at the rubbish and saw it as wit. He gathered the cinders of London's coal fires to mix with the clay for the building desires. They called him the Golden Dustman of Fame, a high profit ledger attached to his name. He built up an empire from muck and from ash and loaded our holds with a mountain of cash. The two-way trade is a smelly affair, with hay for the horses piled high in the air. We carry the fodder up river by day and bring back the stable manure for our pay. I sit on the hatches and guard against flies while watching the price of the dung heaps all rise. The skipper puts beer mats straight over his pint to keep out the swarms that are busy tonight. Oh,
look at the riches that rise from the muck. The golden dustman has brought us some luck. From stables of London to Kentish brick clay, we're sailing and laughing all over the bay. With ash in the belly and bricks in the hold, the rubbish of England is turning to gold. 451 million bricks were loaded by hand with no machinery tricks, to build up the suburbs and tear down the slums, to the rhythm of boots and the beating of drums. The barges came in with a towering stack, and never sailed empty when turning right back. A tight running ship is the owner's delight, keeping my bays filled with cargo by night. Oh, look at the riches that rise from the muck. The golden dustman has brought us some luck. From stables of London to Kentish brick clay, we're sailing and laughing all over the bay. With ash in the belly and bricks in the hold, the rubbish of England is turning to gold. The ledger is full and the profits are neat. From horse manure docks right to Conyers Street, we're heavy with ballast of cinders and soot, with every lad working from header to foot. Old Henry Dodd even founded a race to see which red sail could maintain the best pace. So toast to the muck heaps and toast to the tide, we're riding the river with gold on our side. Oh, look at the riches that rise from the muck. The golden dustman has brought us some luck. From stables of London to Kentish brick clay, we're sailing and laughing all over the bay. With ash in the belly and bricks in the hold, the rubbish of England is turning to gold. I count out the shillings and pocket the pound, the finest collection of trade to be found. From stable yard waste to the grand city wall, the red sailing barges are serving them all. We carry the soot and we carry the clay, and fill up the ledger at the end of the day. Of Cognac blaze through the night, casting a shadow of fiery orange light. Piled tall as houses across the brickyard, 21 acres where labor is hard. The barges are moored in the tidal mud creek, loading the cargo that city men seek. Straight from the furnaces, baking in red, into the timber holds where the crews make their bed. I watch from the deck as the darkness creeps in. The air is too thick and the heat makes me spin. They loaded her down to the waterline deep, then closed up the hatches to get some good sleep. But midnight is silent and midnight is cold, yet a strange wispy ghost begins rising from the hold. I smell the charred oak and I let out a whine. Something is cooking that isn't right. Line, wake up the skipper, the timber is hot. The bricks from the kiln are still baking the plot. Smoke through the hatches is starting to rise, burning the throat and blinding our eyes. Call down the manager, fetch out the team before the red workhorse goes upward in steam. I stood on the quayside and watched the crew run, shouting for water before night was done. Twice in my lifetime I've seen this unfold. When the searing hot ballast ignites the deep hold, they rip out the hatches and throw back the clay, cooling the timbers before break of day. A dangerous gamble for profit and haste, turning the craftsmanship into a waste. Wake up the skipper, the timber is hot. The bricks from the kiln are still baking the plot. Smoke through the hatches is starting to rise, burning the throat and blinding our eyes. Call down the manager, fetch out the team before the red workhorse goes upward in steam. Are pumping, the embers turn gray. We shove the hot bricks from the cargo away. The skipper is cursing, the mate looks askance. A midnight survival, a narrow escape dance. By morning she's cooled and the damage is slight. We pack up the hold in the early dawn light. The red sails are ready, the channel is clear, but the heat of those kilns is a memory I fear. Wake up the skipper, the timber is hot. The bricks from the kiln are still baking the plot. Smoke through the hatches is starting to rise, burning the throat and blinding our eyes. Call down the manager, fetch out the team before the red workhorse goes upward in steam. I look to the furnaces, handle with care. The trade of the estuary brings a good scare. From baking hot ovens right into the sea, the life of a bargeman is never quite free. We carry the fire and we navigate tight, keeping our watch through the dark Kentish night.
Walls where the channel grows lean, the tightest maneuvers that you've ever seen. The motorway bridges sit low on the flood, leaving inches above the thick mud. No room for the topmast, no room for the sail, without a rare skill that can always prevail. They call for the Huffers, the local elites, to guide the red workhorse right under the street.
Two Huffers jump on from the Faversham shore, with muscles of iron and mud on their floor. The skipper stands back as they take up the line, calculating the tides to a second of time.
We're moving on blind through the narrowest space. I drop to my belly and watch every face. The iron-rimmed arches are looming ahead. One slip of the gear and the timber is dead. Then winch down the main mast and flatten the gear. The Huffers are on board, the arches are near. Drop her down low where the dark waters flow. We're squeezing the bridge with an inch left to go. Crank up the handles and muscle the strain before the tide forces us backward again.
I've watched from my windows for over a century the grit of these men as they test every venture. They lower 100-foot mast to the deck, preventing a splintering catastrophic wreck.
They poke her along with a sea-confined pride, completely dependent on current and tide. A dance with the concrete, a match with the stone, navigated by hand and by muscle alone. Then winch down the main mast and flatten the gear. The Huffers are on board, the arches are near. Drop her down low where the dark waters flow. We're squeezing the bridge with an inch left to go. Crank up the handles and muscle the strain before the tide forces us backward again. Above us, I smell the damp grime. The bridge is so low that it swallows the time. The wood creaks in protest, the paint begins scrape. A beautiful, breathless and narrow escape. Then out in the sunlight, the canvas can rise. The red ochre stretching right into the skies. The Huffers step off with a wink and a grin. Another tight voyage we managed to win. Then winch down the main mast and flatten the gear. The Huffers are on board, the arches are near. Drop her down low where the dark waters flow. We're squeezing the bridge with an inch left to go. Crank up the handles and muscle the strain before the tide forces us backward again. Tuck the rigging and tighten the stay. The Huffers have managed to clear us the way. From low inland arches right out to the deep. The secrets of handling are ours now to keep. We slide through the shadows and break for the sea. The red sailing barges are rolling and free. When the freight is all delivered and the ledger lines are neat, the owner and the skipper on the standard quayside meet. No complex corporate dynamic, no hidden ledger book, just a fair and honest system where every lad can look. 50% goes to the house to keep the timbers sound, and 50 to the working crew who sail the river round.
The system of the payment is a beautiful design. 60 pounds of silver split cleanly down the line. The skipper takes his 20 pounds for handling wind and sea. The mate takes 10 for hauling ropes alongside of me. I keep my eyes on the locker where the thieves of London prowl. ensuring every single pence is safe beneath my ground.
So split the silver even, boys, a fair day for the trade, a 50-50 agreement for every voyage made. 30 for the owner's dock, 20 for the wheel, 10 pieces for the working mate, 2 tens the rolling keel. I've overseen the calculations through a century of change, where honest wealth is pocketed and nothing reads as strange. The skipper treats his mate with grace, a partner in the gale, because they share the fortune of the cargo and the sail. It keeps the workforce loyal and it keeps the spirit high, under the brick-lined sentinel beneath the rolling sky. So split the silver even, boys, a fair day for the trade, a 50-50 agreement for every voyage made. 30 for the owner's dock, 20 for the wheel, 10 pieces for the working mate, 2 tens the rolling keel. We net our share and celebrate before the evening slips, with hot food in the cabin on these wonderful old ships. No matter if the winter freezes or the summer beams, the sharing of the ledger is the anchor of our dreams. I get my extra ration coat, a well-earned piece of meat, the finest little partnership on any coastal street. So split the silver even, boys, a fair day for the trade, a 50-50 agreement for every voyage made. 30 for the owner's dock, 20 for the wheel, 10 pieces for the working mate, 2 tens the rolling keel. I count it out by hand tonight, let every coin be true, a model of the shipping world that guides the working crew from London River back to Kent. The system cannot fail, a proud division of the wealth that keeps us under sail.
There are times when the skipper must look to his home and bring out his wife where the rough waters foam. No simple passenger resting in bed, she takes up the wheel with a clear, steady head. I've watched from the quayside as women take charge, controlling the fate of the 100-ton barge.
They know every shoal, they know every line,
navigating the swell in the winter-tossed brine. When the master is sick or the maid needs a sleep, the mistress steps up to the deck of the deep.
I sit by her apron and watch the dark spray as she guides the red workhorse right out of the bay.
She stands at the wheel with a resolute hand, the finest young captain to navigate land.
We hoist up the broom
to the top of the mast, a signal to all that
a woman clears past. So hoist
timber and eyes on the foam. The waves of the river are bringing us home. Clear out the channel and give her the way. The pride of the estuary conquers the bay. The broom at the masthead is legendary lore. A sign of clean sweeps from the sea to the shore.
It tells every vessel that passes the creek that a woman is handling the cargo they seek.
No modern computer could match her design. She reads the great currents and holds a straight line.
A beautiful tradition of skill and of grace,
Preserved in the timber of this historic place. So hoist up the broom to the peak of the mast. The mistress is steering, the danger is past. With a hand on the timber and eyes on the foam, the waves of the river are bringing us home. Clear out the channel and give her the way. The pride of the estuary conquers the bay. The wind is increasing, the canvas is tight, but she keeps us on course through the fading dusk light. She calls for the sheets and she manages the crew.
there's nothing at sea that this lady can't do.
By evening, we're moored at the old standard quay, a flawless execution of land and of sea.
I wag my old tail as she steps from the wheel.
The finest commander to balance a keel.
So hoist up the broom
To the peak of the mast, the mistress is steering, the danger is past. With a hand on the timber and eyes on the foam, the waves of the river are bringing us home. Clear out the channel and give her the way. The pride of the estuary conquers the bay.
I toast to the women who handle the sail.
Who stand at the wheel through the blast and the gale.
A proud Kentish lineage of love,
Knowledge and might,
that guides the red barges into the deep night.
we ride through the waters, majestic and free. The queens of the river, commanding the sea.
Fog descends like a heavy gray shroud, swallowing the shorelines that once were so proud. The channels disappear in a blanket of white. blinding the skipper by day and by night. From my brick-lined sanctuary above the dark mud, I hear the slow ripple of the incoming flood. No charts can protect them, no vision can guide. They must sound out the bottom to master the tide. I stand on the bowsprit, my ears lifting high, straining for sounds underneath the grey sky. The mate takes the lead line and swings it with care, casting the weight through the cold winter air. A splash in the water, a tug on the cord, reading the markers that keep us aboard. He calls out the depths as the lead hits the floor, keeping our timber away from the shore. So cast out the lead line and fathom the deep. The river is silent, the sandbanks don't sleep. By the mark 3 or deep, for they must guide, sounding the bottom to conquer the tide. Watch for the shoals where the workhorses strand, navigating the shadows between mud and land. A century of sailors have relied on this thread, a simple hemp line and a lump of pure lead, to measure the depth where the channel grows thin, bringing the riches of the estuary in. The skipper interprets the call from the bow, adjusting the rudder to manage the plow. A testament to patience, a triumph of skill, while the rest of the world is completely standing still. So cast out the lead line and fathom the deep. The river is silent, the sandbanks don't sleep. By the mark 3 or deep, for they must guide, sounding the bottom to conquer the tide. Watch for the shoals where the workhorses strand, navigating the shadows between mud and land. Grease stuck to the base of the lead brings up the sand from the estuary bed. The skipper takes a sniff of the shell and the clay, knowing exactly where we are in the bay. The fog begins lifting, the standard Quay gleams. We navigate through all the challenging streams. The anchor is dropped and the vessel is sound, the finest old trackers to be found on the ground. So cast out the lead line and fathom the deep. The river is silent, the sandbanks don't sleep. By the mark 3 or deep, for they must guide, sounding the bottom to conquer the tide. Watch for the shoals where the workhorses strand, navigating the shadows between mud and land. Sound out the channel and measure it true. The safety of the vessel depends on the crew. From shallowest mud flats right out to the sea, the lead line is keeping us rolling and free. We track the deep waters and hold to the line, completely triumphant o'er the weather and time. In May of 40, The sky turned to lead as the shadows of war o'er the estuary spread. The call from the Admiralty came through the night for every flat bottom to join in the fight, to rescue the soldiers trapped on the sand, the desperate boys on a dark foreign land. From my quiet brick quayside I watched them depart, the proud wooden workhorses showing their heart. The skipper was silent, his jaw set in stone, as we crossed the wide channel, completely alone. No canvas was hoisted, we moved by a tow into the smoke where the artillery glowed. The shorelines of France were a furnace aflame, a terrifying arena with no rules to the game. I crouched by the windlass and let out a bark as the shells ripped the water and shattered the dark. Out on the shingle where the bullet fire flies, beneath the dark smoke of the northern sea skies, the red sailing barges are holding the line to rescue the boys from the clutches of time. Pull them from danger, pack them in deep, a promise of freedom we're driven to keep. They grounded their hulls on the treacherous beach, where the grand modern warships could never quite reach. They served as the stepping stones out in the surf, saving the sons of their own native turf. Though bombs tore the water and metal rained down, the wood and the iron refuse now to drown. A glorious chapter of courage and grit by the finest old traders that ever were knit. Out on the shingle where the bullet fire flies, beneath the dark smoke of the northern sea skies, the red sailing barges are holding the line to rescue the boys from the clutches of time. Pull them from danger, pack them in deep, a promise of freedom we're driven to keep. We loaded 300 right into the hold. Their faces were weary, their uniform cold. I licked at their hands as they huddled in tight, while the skipper steered back through the terrifying night. We brought them to safety across the grey foam, the noble old Cambria, carrying them home. A scar on our timber, a pride in our chest, the bravest young voyage that challenged the West. Out on the shingle where the bullet fire flies, beneath the dark smoke of the northern sea skies, the red sailing barges are holding the line to rescue the boys from the clutches of time. pull them from danger, pack them in deep. A promise of freedom we're driven to keep. I honor the fleet of the old standard Quay that answered the call for the land of the free. From burning French beaches right back to the Swall, the legend of Dunkirk shall ever prevail. We rode through the thunder and conquered the blast with the spirit of England bound tight to the mast.
The post-war winter brings a bitter cold air across a changing world that has no time to spare. The trade is slowing down, the freights are growing lean, the weary finest craft that you have ever seen. No money in the bank to replace a rotten knee, or lay a proper deck to face the open sea. I watch them patch the hulls above the muddy slip, a desperate attempt to save the aging ship. I run along the bilge, I smell the creeping damp, beneath the dimming light of a rusty paraffin lamp. The timber frames are tired, 70 years of strain, scarred by the channel ice and buckled by the rain. They nail a brand new plank over the fractured oak, hiding all the decay beneath the wooden cloak. Layer upon layer, we're doubling the skin to keep the freezing river from rushing right on in. 7 thicknesses of timber to hold the water back, doubling the planks along the weary track. No money for repairs, no silver in the chest. We patch the wooden workhorse to challenge the West. Hold the seams together with iron bolt and twine, a fragile operation upon the tidal line. My storage bays are quiet, the concrete starts to rise as modern motor transport catches everyone's eyes. The owners cannot afford the shipwright's honest tools, so they force the ancient barges to bend to a cheaper rule. 7 layers thick along the water line to force a dying vessel to mimic something fine. A tragic sort of pride, a heavy coastal sigh beneath my brick-lined sentinel under a gray sky. 7 thicknesses of timber to hold the water back, doubling the planks along the weary track. No money for repairs, no silver in the chest. We patch the wooden workhorse to challenge the West. Hold the seams together with iron bolts and twine, a fragile operation upon the tidal line.
cargo slow. She's heavy in the chest, the extra wooden weight puts our balance to the test. She doesn't ride the wave with her old majestic flair. She wallows in the mud with a creak of deep despair. But still the skipper takes the heavy wooden wheel, trusting all the patches to save the rolling keel. A loyal old companion, a stubby winter dance, taking one last gamble on a slim maritime chance. 7 thicknesses of timber to hold the water back, doubling the planks along the weary track. No money for repairs, no silver in the chest. We patch the wooden workhorse to challenge the West. Hold the seams together with iron bolt and twine, a fragile operation upon the tidal line. I feel the timber groan beneath the heavy load, the final sailing traders upon a changing road. With 7 layers thick, we face the channel spray to keep the ancient legend from fading right away. We fight the rising tide and we navigate the blast, with decades of exhaustion bound tightly to the mast.
Where the deep water river sighs, the red-sailed fleet is moored beneath the soot-stained skies. No shouting on the quayside, no cargo on the crane, just dozens of young workhorses swinging on the chain. The modern motor trucks are humming on the shore, stealing all the freights right from my wooden door. The owners have no messages, the agents have no trade, the final silent winter that the river gods have made.
We've been at these same buoys for 7 days and nights, watching London City turn on its flashing lights. The locker box is empty, the biscuit tin is bare, a cold and hollow hunger hanging in the air.
The skipper calls us starvation, bellies to our face, trapped inside the shadows of this changing river place. I chew a piece of old rope to pass the frozen time, listening to the water roll through the corporate grind. Starvation bellies swinging at the Woolwich tier tonight, waiting for a ledger line to make the fortune right. The holds are completely empty, the bellies growl for bread, while trucks along the motorway are roaring straight ahead. Hold on to the rigging, lads, and to the leather tight. The final sailing traders are starving in the night. I feel the bitter distance across the changing land, where speed is everything and craft is out of hand. The ancient sailing barges are left to rot and wait, a bureaucratic sentence at the city's iron gate.
The skill of reading currents and mastering the gale is cast aside for engines that completely override the sailor. Tragic end of ledger, a desperate final dance, waiting at the river tier for one last trading chance. Starvation belly swinging at the Woolwich tier tonight, waiting for a ledger line to make the fortune right. The holes are completely empty, the bellies growl for bread, while trucks along the motorway are roaring straight ahead. Hold on to the rigging, lads, and chew the leather tight. The final sailing traders are starving in the night. A sudden whistle blows across the foggy standard slip. An agent brings a message to save the dying ship. A small and meager freight of grain to carry down the bay. We drop the heavy iron chain and quickly break away. The hunger doesn't matter when the red sails start to rise. We're back into the channel under freezing winter skies. The skipper takes the wooden wheel with fire in his chest. The final grand defiance of the workhorse of the West. Starvation belly swinging at the Woolwich tier tonight, waiting for a ledger line to make the fortune right. The holes are completely empty, the bellies growl for bread, while trucks along the motorway are roaring straight ahead. Hold on to the rigging, lads, and chew the leather tight. The final sailing traders are starving in the night. I lift the rusty anchor up and shake the canvas free. The starvation bellies are heading for the open sea. From corporate restrictions right back to Kentish mud, the rhythm of the sailing trade is running in our blood. We sail with empty pockets, but our spirits holding fast, with the honor of the estuary bound tightly to the mast.
June of '63 arrived beneath the blazing sun, the final match of sailing ships that ever would be run. The grandest racing canvas gathered at the river's mouth to test the northern currents and the breezes of the south. The Veronica was rigged and ready for the shifting gale, a beautiful embodiment of iron wooden sail. I watched her from the quayside as she lined up for the start, a 70-year-old champion with fire in her heart. The tension on the deck was tight, the skipper held the line, the finest racing crew aboard to challenge tide and time. I stood upon the hatches as the starting cannon roared, a sudden rush of canvas as the wind came right aboard. The Veronica leapt forward with a magnificent display, her red sails catching power as she broke out of the bay. We cut the chop like lightning as the rivals gave us chase, the greatest modern battle for the honors of the sections roar for the queen of the tide. The Veronica is racing with centuries of pride. She flies across the water with the red sails high, the fastest wooden workhorse underneath the English sky. Hold her steady through the reach and muscle every turn, a bitter final victory we're driven now to earn. They rounded up at Ovens buoy and turned back for the line. The handling of that massive barge was absolutely fine. She left the younger vessels in the white wake of her keel, a testament to craftsmanship and sailors who are real. No modern yacht could match the grace of how she claimed the lead, completely independent in her majesty and speed. A glorious achievement on the waters of the Swale, writing down her legacy with every inch of sail. Let the brass sections roar for the queen of the tide. The Veronica is racing with centuries of pride. She flies across the water with the red sails high, the fastest wooden workhorse underneath the English sky. Hold her steady through the reach and muscle every turn, a bitter final victory we're driven now to earn. Finish line ahead to thunderous acclaim, forever locking in the ledger lines around her name. But as the laurel wreath was given to the skipper's hand, a melancholy silence settled over all the land. The racing days were finished and the commercial trade was dead, the final crown of victory upon a weary head. I wagged my tail in sorrow as we moored against the quay, the greatest champion of the world retired from the sea. Sections roar for the queen of the tide. The Veronica is racing with centuries of pride. She flies across the water with the red sails high, the fastest wooden workhorse underneath the English sky. Hold her steady through the reach and muscle every turn, a bitter final victory we're driven now to earn. I toast the Grand Veronica and celebrate a run, triumph that the estuaries won. Though modern times have cast aside the beauty of the sail, the memory of '63 shall evermore prevail. We stand upon the deck tonight, victorious and free, the everlasting symbols of the river.
calendar turns to the autumn of old. The morning is bitter and the water is cold. From my brick-lined sanctuary above the dark mud, I watch the last commercial tide on the flood. No roaring trade coming, no rush on the quay, just a final entry for the world now to see. The logbook is open, the ink is bone dry, beneath the gray clouds of a changing grand sky. The skipper is sitting inside the small space, writing the words with a pale, steady face. October of '70, the closing of line, the very last entry in the records of time. He sets down his pen and he looks at the deck, remembering decades of survival and wreck. I lay by his boots and I let out a sigh as the final commercial voyage goes by. So close up the logbook and turn down the light. The commercial trading is finished tonight. No more hauling ballast or loading the clay. The red sailing barges are passing away. Lock up the ink and step off from the wheel. The final ledger for the grand wooden keel. A century of commerce is struck from the pen. The labor of thousands of exceptional men, shoved out by the engines and roads made of stone. The river is left to the wild birds alone. The legal definitions of cargo and trade are stripped from the vessels that craftsmanship made. A historic silence returns to the creek as the world moves away from the stories we seek. So close up the logbook and turn down the light. The commercial trading is finished tonight. No more hauling ballast or loading the clay. The red sailing barges are passing away. Lock up the ink and step off from the wheel. The final ledger for the grand wooden keel. We pack up our kits and we clear out the hold. The air in the cabin is empty and cold. No cargo tomorrow, no race for the tide. Just an old wooden memory resting inside. The skipper looks back as he locks up the door. The commercial era is a matter of lore. I bark at the channel, but the echo is plain. We're never to carry the freight's here again. So close up the logbook and turn down the light. The commercial trading is finished tonight. No more hauling ballast or loading the clay. The red sailing barges are passing away. Lock up the ink and step off from the wheel. The final ledger for the grand wooden keel. I look to the river and honor the past. The final logbook is completed at last. From London's busy docks right back to the swile, the commercial workhorses have lowered the sail. We stand on the quayside, majestic and free, the final guardians of the history at sea.
I rose in 1843 of brick and mortar bound, to store the golden Kentish hops that grew on fertile ground. They call this harbour Oyster Bay, a name of ancient lore. The Roman nets had stripped the beds 1,000 years before. The irony of empty shells of riches long decayed, while in my bays the fragrant scent of brewing fields was laid. I held the harvest of the earth, the heavy timbered floors, while red-sailed giants brought their freights right to my wooden doors. I stand as a sentinel above the grey tide, where the memories of Roman shells and Kentish hops reside, built for the harvest, but named for the ghost of the long faded riches of this desolate coast. Now I watch the red barges as they rot in the clay, the final lonely guardian of old Oyster Bay. The years of trade have slipped away, the hops no longer come, the great kiln fires are extinguished, and the quayside's hum is dumb. I watch the silent estuary, the cold and creeping mist, where once the finest sailing craft by salty winds were kissed. Oh, I stand as a sentinel above the grey tide, where the memories of Roman shells and Kentish hops reside, built for the harvest, but named for the ghost of the long faded riches of this desolate coast. Now I watch the red barges as they rot in the clay, the final lonely guardian of old Oyster Bay. timber beams are drying now, my brickwork starts to fade, but still I hold the history that honest labor made. I look down on the muddy creeks where broken workhorses sleep, a quiet, sacred vigil that I am destined to keep. Oh, I stand as a sentinel above the great tide, where the memories of Roman shells and Kentish hops reside, built for the harvest, but named for the ghost of the long faded riches of this desolate coast. Now I watch the red barges as they rot in the clay, the final lonely guardian of old Oyster Bay. Oh, let the autumn breezes blow across my empty bay. I'll guard the silent memories that never fade away. From Roman shores to sailing days, the ledger lines are clear. The proudest monument of all that once was gathered here.
In 2007 on the Faversham slip, they laid down the bones of a legendary ship. Tim Goldsack's brave crew gathered under the sky to prove that the old ways would never quite die. They stripped back the rot of the decades of sleep to salvage the heart of this craft of the deep. I watched from the harbor as wood met the flame, preparing the vessel to reclaim her name. The shipyard is humming with joy and with light, the screech of the power saw slicing the night. Beside the old adsies in the shipwright's hand plane, they're bringing the workhorse to life once again. I run through the sawdust and sniff the fresh oak, a beautiful scent in the chimney's grey smoke. The hammers are striking a rhythmic old beat as new timber rises to stand on her feet. Only 5% original, but she's 95% brand new. But the soul of the vessel is running right through. With the shipwright's proud honor and the strength of the wood, they built her as tough as the ancestors should. So raise your hammers and toast to the sky. The spirit of England will never run dry. For 4 years they labored with passion and steel, combining the decades of knowledge and feel. They matched the old molds with the power of modern design to keep this great symbol afloat on the line. Though 95% of her timber is green, she's the finest old beauty that you've ever seen. A triumph of patience, a victory of art, preserving the ledger and guarding the heart. Only 5% original, but she's 95% brand new. But the soul of the vessel is running right through. With the shipwright's proud honor and the strength of the wood, they built her as tough as the ancestors should. So raise your hammers and toast to the sky. The spirit of England will never run dry. 2011, she slipped from the quay, completely rebuilt for the land and the sea. The sails are hoisted, they're crimson and bright, a breathtaking vision in the midday sun's light. I wag my old tail as she catches the breeze, the youngest old conqueror of estuaries and seas. The legacy lives in the timber we feel, with the strength of the future bound tight to her keel. Only 5% original, but she's 95% brand new. But the soul of the vessel is running right through. With the shipwright's proud honor and the strength of the wood, they built her as tough as the ancestors should. So raise your hammers and toast to the sky. The spirit of England will never run dry. I cheer for the craftsmen who carried the flame and gave back the barge her historical name. From Faversham Creek to the mouth of the Swall, the pride of the shipwright shall ever prevail. We stand on the deck of the future tonight, with the glory of timber restored to our sight.
Heavy gates of dry dock yield to let the water in. A brand new morning starts to rise, a program to begin. Upon a fickle shifting tide, she feels the river rise beneath the hopeful golden light of southeastern skies. No longer hauling coal or wheat along the coastal track, but carrying a lighter freight that brings the magic back. A noble wooden sanctuary, restored in every line, to teach the children of the land the secrets of the brine.
I see the school kids queuing up along the wooden pier, their laughter echoing aloud with happy bright-eyed cheer. They climb aboard the spotless deck and touch the massive wheel, amazed by all the giant ropes and sturdy iron keel.
The skipper explains how she sails without an engine's hum, dependent on the fickle wind and tides that go and come.
I wag my tail and guide them down to see the cavern hold,
where histories of sailing days are waiting to be told.
She's a floating classroom sailing on the fickle morning tide, teaching all the children with centuries of pride. With no engine in her belly, just the canvas in the breeze, the youngest minds are learning how we mastered all the seas. Pass the stories downward, keep the legend burning bright. The future of the river is a beautiful delight.
To watch these eager children learn the shipwright's ancient art is bringing back the timeless warmth to my old brick-lined heart. They learn to map the sandbanks and to read the lead line true, imagining themselves to be a classic trading crew.
Without the modern engines, they must respect the gale, appreciating craftsmanship that triumphs in the sail.
A living, breathing testament to what our fathers planned,
bridging generations between water and the land.
She's a floating classroom sailing on the fickle morning tide, teaching all the children with centuries of pride. With no engine in her belly, just the canvas in the breeze, the youngest minds are learning how we mastered all the seas. Pass the stories downward, keep the legend burning bright. The future of the river is a beautiful delight.
We hoist the massive red sails high, they catch the summer wind. The lessons of the estuary have officially begun.
The children pull the halyards with a coordinated shout, watching how the great wood booms are swinging all about.
They learn the names of every rope, from forestay to the sheet.
The proudest little sailors in the entire sailing fleet.
We glide along the quiet swale with elegance and grace.
An unforgettable experience in this historic place.
She's a floating classroom sailing on the fickle morning tide, teaching all the children with centuries of pride. With no engine in her belly, just the canvas in the breeze, the youngest minds are learning how we mastered all the seas. Pass the stories downward, keep the legend burning bright. The future of the river is a beautiful delight.
I cheer for the old Cambria and her educational run. The finest lessons on the river have officially begun.
From historical traditions right back to the modern day, the spirit of the red sails will never fade away. We hold the future in our hands, victorious and free, the everlasting keepers of the stories of the sea.
The shadows lengthen o'er the creek, the evening tide is high. A golden sheet of liquid light beneath the Kentish sky. I feel the centuries of trade, the memories in my stone, no longer left to weather in the wilderness alone. The ledger lines are written clear, the final page is turned, a quiet peace upon the shore that all our souls have earned. The red sails catch the gentle wind and billow proud and free, a final blessing from the land before they seek the sea. I stand upon the stand at Quay and watch the rigging gleam, a breathtakingly beautiful and everlasting dream. The skipper gives a gentle whistle steady at the wheel, as water dances once again along the oak-bound keel. No cargo waits within her belly, heavy, cold and dark, but carrying the memories that left a brilliant mark. I wag my tail and watch her glide into the open slaw, the sunset painting colors on the canvas of her sail. So raise the final glass of ale and close the ledger tight. The light to London guides them through the shadows of the night. Although the busy commercial trade is gone forevermore, the craftsmanship lives on along this historic shore. With pride in every timber and a glory in our chest, the spirit of the sailing barge is evermore at rest. My brick-lined bays are silent now, but filled with sacred grace, a monument of craftsmanship within this changing place. I shielded them from winter gale and stored their golden freight, and now I stand in quiet pride beside the river gate. The trade is gone, the world has moved to roads of iron and steel, but nothing can erase the soul of what their hands can feel. A testament to English oak and shipwrights of the past, whose legendary handiwork is bound to every mast. So raise the final glass of ale and close the ledger tight. The light to London guides them through the shadows of the night. Although the busy commercial trade is gone forevermore, the craftsmanship lives on along this historic shore. With pride in every timber and a glory in our chest, the spirit of the sailing barge is evermore at rest. Twilight falls upon the waves, the stars begin to peer. We've sailed through decades of the storm and conquered every fear. I lean against the skipper's leg and watch the shoreline fade, the finest, bravest voyages that ever have been made. We leave our paw prints in the wood, our names upon the breeze, the timeless little guardians of estuaries and seas. The red sails slip into the dark, majestic, calm and free, a masterpiece of human hands returning to the sea. So raise the final glass of ale and close the ledger tight. The light to London guide them through the shadows of the night. Although the busy commercial trade is gone forevermore, the craftsmanship lives on along this historic shore. With pride in every timber and a glory in our chest, the spirit of the sailing barge is evermore at rest. I cheer the grand old standard quays and toast the wooden fleet. The legacy of sailing days is rendered now complete. From burning French beaches right back to the quiet swall. The honor of the rivermen shall evermore prevail. We sailed into history victorious and free, the everlasting symbols of the river and the sea. The sky turned to lead as the shadows of war o'er the estuary spread. The call from the Admiralty came through the night for every flat bottom to join in the fight, to rescue the soldiers trapped on the sand, the desperate boys on a dark foreign land. From my quiet brick quayside I watched them depart, the proud wooden workhorses showing their heart. The skipper was silent, his jaw set in stone, as we crossed the wide channel completely alone. No canvas was hoisted, we moved by a tow into the smoke where the artillery glowed. The shorelines of France were a furnace of flame, a terrifying arena with no rules to the game. I crouched by the windlass and let out a bark as the shells ripped the water and shattered the dark. Out on the shingle where the bullet fire flies, beneath the dark smoke of the northern sea skies, the red sailing barges are holding the line to rescue the boys from the clutches of time. Pull them from danger, pack them in deep, a promise of freedom we're driven to keep. They grounded their hulls on the treacherous beach, where the grand modern warships could never quite reach. They served as the stepping stones out in the surf, saving the sons of their own native turf. Though bombs tore the water and metal rained down, the wood and the iron refuse now to drown. A glorious chapter of courage and grit by the finest old traders that ever were knit. Out on the shingle where the bullet fire flies, beneath the dark smoke of the northern sea skies, the red sailing barges are holding the line to rescue the boys from the clutches of time. Pull them from danger, pack them in deep, a promise of freedom we're driven to keep. We loaded 300 right into the hold. Their faces were weary, their uniform cold. I licked at their hands as they huddled in tight, while the skipper steered back through the terrifying night. We brought them to safety across the grey foam, the noble old Cambria carrying them home. a scar on our timber, a pride in our chest, the bravest young voyage that challenged the West. Out on the shingle where the bullet fire flies, beneath the dark smoke of the northern sea skies, the red sailing barges are holding the line to rescue the boys from the clutches of time. Pull them from danger, pack them in deep, a promise of freedom we're driven to keep. Hey! Honor the fleet of the old standard Quay that answered the call for the land of the free. From burning French beaches right back to the Swall, the legend of Dunkirk shall ever prevail. We rode through the thunder and conquered the blast, with the spirit of England bound tight to the mast.